So, the final round. Round three, pretty much. So I'm gonna try to make this short because not much really happened. Entertaining fight. Great to have some insights on John's perspective on Ren and his way of doing things, on the Tao family and their able not to get out of the past. I believe I talked about this before, and I'm seeing it pop up more and more with some anime where people, even in today's society, are too trapped and stuck into the past to move on to the future. You know, as I said before, cherish the past, love the present, and embrace the future. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't fall by this philosophy or this ideal of life. But then again, it can be justified. Some people, it's hard to move on. It's hard to when you are stuck with so many burdens, especially by the pressure of everyone else, especially when you're forced it into your head as a child. I guess at a young age, how Ren saw so much death and so much corruption within the family. He himself, even if he's trying to change things for the better, he himself is doing it a wrong way. And because of that, it's not going to end well if you continue doing it this way. Even to the point where June herself, at an older age, surprised she wasn't changing up. I guess because she wasn't being seen as the heir, she wasn't that affected. But she had some of it. But all it took was one action from Yo for her to understand the wrongdoings. That's when she came to consult the father. But it's not even just the father. It's generations of the family bloodline. You know, because it's kind of like my favorite character, Darth Maul. You know, they were meant to be so much more. You know, something greater. But then they lost it all. And no matter what they have now, they feel like it can never top to what they're supposed to have, what they're supposed to be. And because of that, it's never enough. You know, they won't stop until they lash out this anger, this lingering feeling onto someone. And I can understand that, you know. You having to settle for something less when you were supposed to have more. I can understand that feeling. You know, you feel like you have been ratted out of life, cheated out of life. But as the thing goes, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You know, you were supposed to do with what you have and see what you can do from there. Darth Maul himself was able to be successful even after Order 66, and he could have continued to thrive. But when he heard Obi-Wan was still alive, he couldn't let go of the past. In fact, if he would have let go of the past, he could have been strong as Darth Vader, and if not stronger, if he just let go and to accept the future, but he couldn't do that. Same thing goes with the Tao family. Tao family just can't let go. So here we have with Ren versus Yo. You know, the fight itself was interesting, seeing how the two have different ways of fighting. You know, Tao Ren has so much Furoku to the point where he can just unleash amounts of it and never get tired, where Yo himself is different, where he can't unleash a large amount of Furoku. He can't even fight in high places and stuff. You know, he has certain limits, certain drawbacks, which I do enjoy, where a character can't just go full out any time when they want to. They have to think, you know, smart. And I enjoy that out of some shonen. Unfortunately, a lot of shonen just don't do that. But that's why Yo was so unique, you know. He was different from the rest. Or he was same as few. That being said, Yo had to do smartly. He couldn't release so much. He had to do some at a time. He couldn't go all out because that's not him. You know, in most anime, where the main character has this hidden potential, this bloodlust, and they can just go out of control and just beat the crap out of anybody, but because of them losing their sanity, such as Naruto, Gohan, you know, even some new ones, you know, just unleash that hidden power, raw power, and they attack at some cost, or sometimes no cost at all. But Yo can't do that. He can, but he'll lose control of himself, and he doesn't like being something that he's not. It scares him. So therefore, instead, he decides to, you know, to always remain in control, always remain calm, no matter what, because that's all he can do in order to win. The other way of fighting is not for him. He's not that type of guy. As he was traveling in that cave the other episode, he came to terms with that. to understand yourself. There are certain ways of fighting you just can't do because it doesn't suit who you are as a person. You can have a lot of forward code, but the body fails, such as Talon is meaningless. You can have little, so you gotta be careful how much you exploit. So despite that, the two ideals and ways of fighting clashed, and to the point where it became a draw. So I guess they could have both lost or they could have both won, but it turns out they both won. Now they both win, go on to the next thing, which is good. Like the Great Spirit has ways of seeing things ways for things to work out, I guess. Now that being said, we can finally move on to the ceremony, which I'm interested in seeing as well. Seeing what they have to do next. It's going to be pretty interesting to see that. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm making this short, so that's what I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and my insight. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox on Madame. Signing out.